I have these lights at home, too, that I use when I live stream. Cool.
There's going to be some theme music.
Coming to you from Dynatrace Perform in Las Vegas, it's Pure Performance.
Woo! Get your dance on. Get your fix on.
Yeah. Hey, welcome everyone. We are taking a few testimonials here, and hopefully our next guest, Chris, he has an amazing performance horror story. Chris, welcome to Pure Performance.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate being here. It was such a wonderful conference with all the best and latest in Dynatrace technology.
Look at that. You're hired. You didn't pay him, did you?
No, I did not.
That was really, really good. Is this your first time at Dynatrace Perform?
It's not. I was actually here last year. I did not get a chance to be part of this experience. I saw it, so I thought I'd come up and talk to you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Appreciate it a lot.
It's really cool. We're giving away gifts and things. We have little micro drones.
Okay.
So you'll get in the running for this?
Yeah, and as you walked up just inquiring about stuff, the testimonials can be anything.
Okay.
Because a lot of everyone that even comes to find Dynatrace are sometimes too late, after a disaster.
After the fact.
They're like, oh, why didn't we spend this money? Why didn't we do this work?
The price of saying no versus the price of saying yes, like what our main speaker talked about yesterday.
Yeah, exactly right. It kind of also, not, I wouldn't say willful ignorance, but just like the cost of, I didn't know we should be doing this work. Mm-hmm. But you have a particular horror story
I do.
to share, but not from your current
No, it's from a couple lives back.
We'll let it go.
No problem. So, my name's Chris Labrato. I've been in IT for about 20 years, and about in 2007, I was working for T-Mobile, and I was running their middleware administration team. So that was back in the day of SOA, three-tiered architectures, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And what happened was we had a job application that was using a precursor to XML called ExecFlow. The developer no longer worked for us, but basically it looked like a language where you put in checkboxes with descriptions, and then it would read it and then go do some stuff.
Yeah.
It was archaic. But this was on our prepaid billing system, which had 8 million subscribers, and I was responsible for it.
So T-Mobile, prepaid phones.
Yes, yeah. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to link the prepaid billing system with the postpaid billing system, and our software developers pushed out, a code release.
Yeah.
And then I usually come in the morning, check how things are going. It's just business as usual. Well, I get the call at 4 o'clock in the morning. Chris, I need you at the war room. Nothing's working. I said, okay, I've been through this a million times. No problem. I walk in there, and, they're like, we can't do anything. We're like, what do you mean? They're like, we can't refill prepaid cards, and everyone's card balance was wiped out.
Oh.
Right? Something along those lines. And so we're like, okay, that's no good. And they're like, what do we need to do? I was like, well, we need to get everybody in the war room and start, our developers. We're in Israel. We got people on the phone. And so we do. This is the beginning of something that we spent about 164 hours on in 8 days. All right? So now all of a sudden.
Now, are you talking about 164 hours
what's
split
24
by different
times
people?
8?
You're talking
No,
about,
that's for me.
Okay, 164.
So, I had a whole bunch of people with me in this room day in and day out. So, several 24
That's not
hours.
a lot of sleep.
It's not a lot of sleep.
That's like 200 hours.
Yeah.
Like 100 total
it's
you could take.
164.
164. That's like very little sleep.
Very, very little sleep.
All right.
Because the problem was it made Business Week and it was on the news. And nobody wants to see their corporation saying, hey, telco cannot have customers placing phone calls. That's not a great place to be.
So when it wiped out the zero balance, just to get some more details here, did you have logging to know what the previous amount was? Like, was it like we have no way of knowing?
I don't think so.
I had 500 hours that I paid for. Now
so the issue is that now T-Mobile's giving away free minutes, right? So to stop the bleeding for their customer experience.
Like, woohoo, good for you. You just got a bunch of extra free.
Right. So, but now we've got some time because we don't want to give away minutes because people are just going to keep making, playing the arcade free quarters.
You got it.
So we had no tools. We had no way of understanding why it was a problem. All we knew is that every time that somebody tried to do a transaction, it was a full table lock, right? And so what happened, what that means is that you can only do one thing at a time, and that we had a bunch of application stuff talking to this middleware process, talking to the database. The middleware process was basically one lane, and you had like 8 lanes at the top all trying to get in. So you have a traffic jam.
Queued up and times out.
Yep, just couldn't do any work.
Retry, storm, or maybe.
So what we ended up doing, and if we had Dynatrace, it would have made this completely simpler because back then, debuggers for Java were practically non-existent.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
If you go back before, they would like dev only your kid
or
some
had,
of the profilers.
The granddaddy at that time was CA Interscope, which right now just got bought Broadcom. There's a reason for that because it's not very good.
Yeah.
Dynatrace did actually exist in 2007.
In Atmon.
Yeah. Well, it was capital, lowercase d, capital T.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was in its infancy. You know, it was,
Right.
I started
was
using it
known-
in 2009 or 10, and
Right.
it was still...
Right.
Yeah, so I can't even imagine.
And where then
27.
Dynatrace just started spanking the competition, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
It's a family show, by the way.
Right.
Oh,
you know,
says the guy who
elbowing-
drops F-bombs.
right.
F-bombs. That stands for
Fudge?
a word
Food.
that starts with F.
Food.
Foodie bombs.
Yeah.
Food bomb. See what
Pizza.
I don't know what you're-
I love
Franklin.
it.
Franklin.
Anyway, back to you,
Yes.
Chris.
So here's what happened. So the chief architect
Yeah.
and our chief information officer said, okay, you work for me for now. What do we need to do?
Right.
I gave him two answers. I said, number one, we're going to need some software engineers here to do a lot of work. I want you to go to every grocery store in a 2-mile radius and buy all the Red Bull that you can. This is the truth.
You're ahead of
Super
the curve.
caffeine.
You are ahead of the curve on
Yeah,
that one, too.
because then they said, why do you want that? I was like, because everyone's going to get motivated and they're going to have energy and you're going to get more out of your team. It's a cheap way to get more hours.
Yeah.
And then number
Drug 'em.
two is we need to set up stations where when the thing breaks, we can get all the diagnostics.
Right.
So we figured out where
For
the
each,
for each layer.
a person-to-person or
Right.
man-to-man coverage.
We flew in the developer, by the way. We found the developer. We flew him in at $400 an hour. He wasn't cheap.
Wow.
And only for him to say, you can't solve it.
Yeah.
I have to build you a new system. And nobody, he was wanting some like $200,000, right?
Whoa. That's
No-
unscrupulous.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Well, it's Java, and everything is based on TCP, and this
Yep.
point talks to this IP address port.
Right.
So I told them, okay, we need more servers. We're going to take copies of everything, and we're going to rewire it, restitch it together.
Yeah.
And we're going to send it all back through the system.
Yeah.
So that we can build more of these lanes where everything was stuck.
Yeah.
Chief Information Officer says, great idea.
Right.
So
Just
what do we do?
Build more bridges.
This is before virtualization, by the way. We're
Right.
talking
Oh, yeah.
about HPUX, iron on the floor.
Really?
Yes, and it was about
Wow.
$333,000 per server. So what do we do?
Whoa.
We spent $10 million in hardware in 4 days, standing up everything on the floor.
That's
Ding, 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 ding,
unbelievable.
ding. You
That number, think about that number relative to a software licensing agreement. We could have
Right.
went to any APM provider and said, hey, do you have something better than $10 million? They would have said, here's all you can eat for 5.
Yeah. You could almost acquire an APM vendor
Sure.
for that.
At that time, yeah.
But we couldn't. Right back then, you're talking about the days of Java 1.5, 1.6.
Oh, sure, yeah.
JMX was just barely on the market. Nobody knew how to use it, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah.
Yep.
So we did
Yeah.
all that. And then we had to write some scripting process to deploy it because the current deployment process only knew how to do
Right.
one process.
Right.
So we had a team of developers doing all this just to stand the system back up.
Murderously.
And after about 164 hours of my time, bags under my eyes, which are still here,
Yes.
we finally got the system back up enough, and the developers had time to finally write a debugger to figure out where in their software
Yeah.
the problem was.
Yeah.
And I always think about this because 200 engineers, call it 100 hours a piece.
Sure.
Because not everybody's working the same.
Right.
And the cost of per employee, $80 an hour. The cost of the hardware, if we had Dynatrace
Yeah.
with Davis telling us, here's where your problem was, we could have just rolled back. Developers could have wrote a patch. You'd have been done.
Right.
Yeah.
And the new thing with Davis is it could predict, hey Chris, I predict that you're going to spend $200,000 on a developer who doesn't know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Would you like to continue? No effing way.
Heck no, capital N, capital
Capital
O.
L, yeah, yeah.
Send
And
it back. Let's talk about something else. That's what I would
Yeah.
have said.
And was there
Now-
a release related to this event
This
happening? or
was a
just
release. This
okay,
was a
so
planned
there was a
release. It
and
passed
then-
all the QA. And the issue there is that just like we've always seen in all these CI/CD pipelines, if you don't build your test cases with quality gates, like what they're talking
Right.
about with Captain,
Yeah.
if you do not have the right load, if you do not have the right data types,
Yep.
then is your QA process valid?
Yeah, it's a false negative.
Right. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of that, Brian. Like
Oh yeah, I used
out
to work
in the
in performance.
industry.
I also used to work in performance.
Absolutely.
I was guilty of making some mistakes in way we set up tests in the past, and then
Yes.
something blows up like,
Yeah.
oh, we needed to do that. You
Yeah.
live and learn.
I
But
should
yeah.
have been fired so many times.
Right? How many
I wasn't.
times do the performance teams do an extrapolation? It goes over into production, and then the developers say, "Oh, it's production."
Extrapolation is evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we don't
Unless
use
you're
that.
in like rocket science where it's like $150 million.
But I don't have to do
just
that anymore because
test one.
Davis knows the answer.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Davis has the data, and now in my current role, which I can't talk about, I use
Yes.
Dynatrace
Cool.
daily,
Awesome.
and it's amazing.
And you're just getting fed the information that you absolutely didn't have back in.
I'm
your-
faster, better, cheaper, safer, more
Well, don't call
agile, and
yourself
able
cheaper.
to get right.
Yeah.
And I'm able to get information to my developers.
and well rested.
Yeah, and well rested.
And well rested.
Time for pizza.
I do have one outstanding question.
Sure.
Was there ever a financial impact of the individual phones effect, the people impacted?
So I think they quantified that once it was all said and done, I think they lost a couple $1 million outside of the numbers that
Sure.
we spent on the hardware,
Right.
10 million and then some. It was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
But they recovered, got it all going, and then I think there was some process in the background to go and smooth out some of the people who kind of took advantage of the free minutes,
And
blah,
clean
blah,
it
blah.
all up. Yeah.
But it was an important lesson in the delivery, and then later on, people had some best practices, and I just keep thinking, if I only had Dynatrace.
Yeah, there you go.
Did they lose any talent at the time as well? Because people always talk
Did
about
people
losing
walk?
money.
Yeah.
Did people like after that be like, you know what, it's time to find a new job?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's-
some people probably decided that was enough for them.
Yeah,
they don't want to work those hours.
somewhere
That was
else.
back in the days of like when AT&T did their Siebel 7 implementation. It was a disaster, and the CIO was firing people on the spot. This is in Washington State,
Yep.
Seattle area. So T-Mobile wasn't that mean,
Yeah.
but it certainly wasn't nice when you heard executives yelling at other executives, and you sitting
Yeah.
there going, I have no idea what to do.
I used to live in Bothell, and there's the T-Mobile
Yeah,
offices
that's
right
where I used
down
to
there.
work. Yep.
You did the 164 hours down?
No, I did
Not
it
there.
in Factoria. So,
Okay, yeah.
But I used to work in the Bothell data center up there.
Yeah, it was nice to walk my dog right past
Yep.
there.
Yep.
It's really cool. Awesome, Chris. Thank you very much for
No
the story.
problem, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you
if
so
you have
much.
a business card, we'll enter you to win one of our really awesome micro drones.
Okay, no problem.
And, yeah.
Brian, always a pleasure.
You as well.
And do we have any other testimonials? You spread the word.
Yeah.
If people come want to have
I
it
will.
As you wander around, we'll be around taking more testimonials.
No problem. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
We'll do.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.